All I know is Katy is having a bad year. I don't want to pile on. But I am legitimately curious. Was he out there, or is this PR on his sake to try to look better? Is Katy Perry going to start coming out? Now, Katy has fans. The fans of Katy are convinced that she was alluding to it last year on her latest album. Okay.
To have been granted this utterly vacuous experience from which they learned absolutely nothing. This is the Democratic Party.
We made fun of it on Monday because it was just so ridiculous the way some of the media were covering it, the way they were like self-congratulatory. They've gone next level.
And they also go on to say that he's now heading off to Venice, going to the Jeff Bezos, Lauren Sanchez wedding. And that is going to be his debut as a single man.
Orlando took it as an opportunity to, single it up. He advised her against the album, and he produced the bulk of that album. Orlando apparently also advised her against space. She did it. He advised her against this tour, and she did it.
Why so many on the left and the right had a visceral reaction to this?
From where Orlando stands, all he ever wanted was for Katy to be herself, the source continued. He fell in love with her and who she is inside, but this past year, he believes, has brought out the worst in her.
They have no problems. They have nothing in their lives that they consider to be of value. And what's amazing to me is that it seems like Hollywood knows what time it is, even if these 5 women didn't, right? Like, you really did see people coming out and being like, what the heck is this?
Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom always looked solid. Red carpets, family moments, and a daughter they both adore. Even after their split, the message was clear. No drama, just mutual respect. But fans weren't buying it, because behind the scenes, things weren't nearly as peaceful. Orlando started appearing at events alone.
Are saying that Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom have split up. Now, it's certainly not a surprise in one sense. We've been hearing rumblings now for a long while.
Katy dropped cryptic lines in interviews about needing clarity and boundaries. Social media posts got distant. Something was off. Insiders claimed they'd been living separate lives for months, just pretending to stay united in public. Then came the silence. No explanations, no statements, just a quiet disappearance from each other's lives, until one moment changed everything. And that moment was caught on camera. At first glance, it looked like a friendly co-parenting moment. Katy and Orlando were spotted having lunch together in Italy. Just 2 exes keeping things civil for their daughter. But the photos told a completely different story. No smiles, no eye contact, no warmth, just tension.
Katy's not been the same person for over a year now, and Orlando has had enough. Perry in particular became the internet's punching bag for it, obviously, as we all saw. He told her the whole thing looked ridiculous.
Paparazzi shots showed them sitting across from each other like strangers, barely speaking. Body language experts online pointed out the physical distance, the crossed arms, the blank expressions. It didn't look like closure. It looked like conflict. One clip even showed Orlando staring at his phone while Katy looked off into the distance, visibly uncomfortable. Fans flooded Reddit and TikTok with theories. Some claimed this was a PR stunt. Others thought it was a last attempt to fix something already broken. And one thing stood out. They weren't there alone. Their daughter was present, making the entire situation even more intense. Sources say the lunch wasn't planned as a family outing. It was a forced sit-down after weeks of silence.
Well, new reports are alleging it's because Orlando kept warning her about her cringeworthy space flights and desperate attempts at promoting her new album.
But what sparked the silence in the first place? That answer might be buried in a leaked message fans weren't supposed to see. Just days after that tense Italy lunch, Katy stepped on stage for another stop on her Lifetime's tour. The crowd expected glitter, fireworks, and polished vocals. But what they got was something raw. Midway through her set, Katy paused. Her voice cracked. And then she said it. "I'm not the most hated person on the internet." The crowd fell silent. At first, fans thought it was a random comment, but online, people connected the dots. Some believed she was directly addressing the backlash swirling around her breakup. Others claimed she was responding to something Orlando allegedly said behind the scenes, or something he leaked. Soon after, she turned off comments on Instagram. No explanation, just silence. And that's when the theories exploded. Had something been said about her? Were private messages already floating through the wrong hands? Fans didn't know it yet, but the alleged leak that followed would flip everything upside down.
What I'm curious about in this video is what actually happened between Katy and Orlando. He wants her to be happy and he wants her to be authentic. He just wants her to stop and enjoy the life that she has built.
What you're doing is you're like really finding the love for yourself because you got to trust in yourself.
Soon after Katy's onstage moment, whispers started circulating online. Sources say private messages, Katy's personal DMS, were allegedly shared with Orlando's inner circle. A TikTok video surfaced, claiming to reveal snippets of these messages. Fans who followed closely say the tone matches Katy's usual way of speaking, fueling rumors the leak might be real. No one knows exactly how the messages got out. Some believe Orlando himself shared them. Others think a close friend might have slipped. Whether intentional or accidental, the leak sent shockwaves. Suddenly, what was private became public, and trust between them was questioned like never before. But the fallout was just beginning. Orlando's actions after the breakup started to draw more attention. Since the split and the rumored DM leak, Orlando's behavior hasn't gone unnoticed. Sources say he's been spotted at parties and events solo, often looking carefree. Almost too carefree for someone going through a breakup.
Apparently, she received little to no support from Bloom, who blasted the embarrassing debacle during Explosive Row. He advised her against this album. She did it. Now, again, this album had a lot of problems, specifically the Dr. Luke of it all, the producer who was having so much accusations himself and with Kesha and everything else. And Kesha says Katy knew, and then Katy basically was like, I don't care, I'm working with Dr. Luke again.
Fans noticed him interacting with younger influencers and posting flirty comments on social media, sparking rumors that he's moving on fast. Some believe Orlando might be trying to shift the narrative, portraying Katy as the dramatic ex to distract from his own missteps. This shift hasn't gone down well online. Fans are divided, and the tension between the two stars keeps growing. But the internet's reaction wasn't the only thing heating up. As whispers about the alleged DM leak grew louder, the internet quickly transformed into a digital battlefield. Reddit communities dedicated to celebrity gossip exploded with heated debates. Some users claimed Orlando was orchestrating a carefully planned PR campaign to control the narrative, drawing comparisons to infamous celebrity feuds like the one between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, where private details became public weapons. TikTok became a hotspot for viral videos, with creators piecing together clips of Katy's emotional performances, her cryptic interviews, and snapshots of the tense Italy lunch. These videos garnered millions of views, sparking waves of sympathy for Katy and painting her as the vulnerable star caught in the crossfire. On the flip side, Orlando's social media accounts started drawing more scrutiny than ever. Fans began commenting on his seemingly carefree lifestyle post-breakup, his late-night parties, public flirtations with younger influencers, and cryptic posts that some interpreted as subtle digs at Katy. Many called it a deflection tactic, suggesting Orlando was trying to shift public sympathy away from Katy's side. This divide wasn't just about fans choosing favorites, it turned personal. The split, once portrayed as mature and drama-free, now felt like a full-blown war, with supporters on both sides passionately defending their favorite star. Online arguments escalated, some even turning toxic, as people questioned not only their relationship, but their characters. The growing online tension mirrored the real-life fallout. Insiders say this public drama started to affect their co-parenting relationship and raised concerns among their inner circles. But while the fan wars raged online, the leak's impact was just starting to reveal its deeper consequences. This isn't just celebrity drama, it's deeply personal. Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom share a daughter, Daisy, and insiders say the alleged DM leak struck a nerve far beyond headlines. But Katy and Orlando haven't addressed these rumors openly. Instead, silence has become the loudest response, making fans wonder what's really happening behind the scenes. And with every quiet moment, speculation only grows louder. The alleged DM leak may only be the start of a far more complicated story. Fans and insiders alike are convinced this could be just the first wave of private information surfacing. Some speculate that additional content, whether it's more texts, voice notes, or even emails, could soon become public, further escalating the drama between Katy and Orlando. Rumors swirl that both sides are gearing up for what might become a full-blown PR war. In this kind of battle, every leaked detail can be a strategic move, designed to sway public opinion, damage reputations, or shift sympathy. Sources say Katy was reportedly furious, viewing the leak as a breach of trust that could impact their co-parenting. When private conversations spill into public view, it complicates communication and can damage the delicate balance they've tried to maintain for their child's sake. Experts in celebrity relationships point out that leaks like this often aren't just about personal grudges. Their strategic moves in an ongoing PR battle, damaging one another's public image, can give one party the upper hand, especially when custody and parenting come into play. Fans have speculated that the leak might even influence custody discussions behind closed doors. When personal conflicts become public, they risk creating a hostile environment that's hard to navigate, especially for a young child caught in the middle. What's fueling the speculation is Katy's team's unusual silence. No public statements, no denials, just a deliberate quiet that some interpret as preparation for legal action. Protecting privacy has become a priority, and experts suggest this silence could be a sign of lawyers stepping in behind the scenes. On the other side, Orlando's social media behavior has been anything but predictable. His cryptic posts, sudden bursts of activity followed by silence, and ambiguous comments have fans reading between the lines, trying to decode hidden messages. Meanwhile, the broader fan community is watching closely, piecing together every clue from paparazzi snaps, social media stories, and insider hints, waiting for the next big reveal. With so many questions left unanswered, the tension is growing by the day, and the public is left wondering, how far will this feud go? What secrets are still hidden? And who will emerge stronger when the dust settles? The silence between them speaks volumes, but it's the next moves that will truly tell the story. In the middle of all this swirling drama, one thing stands out. Katy Perry has remained completely silent. No public statements, no clarifications, no direct responses on social media. But sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. Fans have noticed Katy disabling comments on her Instagram posts, a rare move for a superstar known for her connection with fans. It seems like a shield, a way to protect herself from the growing storm of speculation and criticism. Behind the scenes, sources say she's focusing on her music and her daughter, trying to stay out of the chaos. Meanwhile, Orlando's public image is shifting in real time. The once beloved heartthrob now faces increasing scrutiny. Fans and media question his motives, wondering if he's really the supportive father or if there's more behind the scenes. His social media posts, sometimes cryptic, other times playful, only add fuel to the fire, leaving fans divided and curious. This quiet tension between them feels like a pressure cooker about to blow. People are left asking, when will Katy break her silence? Will Orlando finally address the allegations? How far will this feud go before the truth finally surfaces? And more importantly, how will this all affect their daughter and the lives they share behind closed doors? The answers remain unclear. But one thing is certain, the silence is louder than ever, and what happens next could change everything. The drama between Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom has captivated fans and stirred endless speculation, but what lies ahead remains uncertain. Will more private messages, photos, or videos surface? Rumors say this might only be the beginning of a deeper, more intense fallout. Katy has remained silent so far, but silence can be both powerful and fragile. At what point will she feel compelled to speak up? Not just for herself, but to protect her family and reputation. Orlando, on the other hand, faces a public image that's quickly shifting. The charming star many adored is now under a microscope, with fans and media questioning his every move. Will he try to rebuild bridges, or will his actions push the divide even wider? Behind all the headlines and social media storms lies their shared responsibility. Their daughter, Daisy. How will this ongoing tension affect her? Sources say those close to the family are worried about the impact of public drama on co-parenting. Legal experts suggest that if the leak and the backlash escalate, this could lead to court battles over privacy and custody, making the situation even more complex. And as fans watch every update, they're left wondering who's really telling the truth. Who's been hurt the most? And what's being kept behind closed doors? The only certainty is that this story is far from over. The next chapter will reveal not just who emerges stronger, but how two high-profile lives are forever changed by secrets, silence, and the choices they make. For now, all eyes remain glued to every post, every interview, and every subtle hint, waiting to see what happens next.